Hey people, Intro here, 3v3 SDA Province. Time to survive the war. On the blue team, Brother Captain Palaz as a Brother Captain, a durable hero walking through objects cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and support fighting in melee, alongside Soul Reaver's Inquisitor, an offensive hero with powerful control, begins in melee but can get specialized ranged weapons. And rounding off the blue team is Jono as a Techmarine, starts off in ranged combat, can get a melee weapon, supports with structures and repairs. We got the Ultramarines DLC scheme here. For the red Orks then, ChunkyCoates and a Kommando knob, an infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style, begins with a twin link shooter. Alongside Machine Elf's Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat with a bunch of Orky gadgets, getting into some melee fisticuffs though with the Inquisitor. And rounding off the teams, trying to keep those other Orks in line, is Iluka Foe with a Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects. Very good offense, disruption and support from the front line. Usually quite annoyed, the Warboss. This is the Death Skulls elite scheme. Where are the scouts? Oh, they were already forced off by some Daka, I guess. Warboss now chasing on through. Techmarine separates himself so he can turn and fire here. Warboss has already taken quite a lot of damage. The shooter boys need to plant their feet and shoot at those scouts here. Warboss is going to be forced off in a second. In fact, he may go down because I see Soul Reaver rotating across for a flank. And if that Inquisitor has Hammer of the Witches available, there it is. Her starting ability, damage to a single entity and a stun, and down he goes. Mekboy teleports right in for the revive. And here comes a death gun. Sentinel's not going to like that. Sluggers run away. Warboss back to his feet. Do you have a ground pound? You do. And there it is. Mekboy able to avoid it though with the teleport. Nicely done. Now sets up the death gun. Starts getting some really good Daka on the Sentinel. Inquisitor doesn't tie him up. Shooter boys run. Also suppresses infantry. Oh, there's the teleport in to try and finish it. One more burst will do. And gets it down. Could have moved out of the firing arc there if they responded quickly enough, but that was quite difficult. Down goes the Mekboy, but it was still well worth it to get that Sentinel down. On the west side, we have a stabby Kommando knob with the Assassin's Knife. Assassinate providing big burst damage versus a single entity, single model. And the tripper shot is amazing disruption. What else we got here? We got a War Banner providing those passive bonuses nearby. Shooter boys. No big shooters though. Sluggers are getting burners and they are infiltrated now by Hide the Boys. Was that a little bit too early? That might wear off before they can do some cool stuff. Brother Captain Palaz has a Purgation squad. No war gear here. Does have a sergeant on the way, and these guys have their fancy tomes. They know how to read stuff good. Yeah, the Sluggers, the Hide the Boys wore off on the Sluggers. I think it's 20 seconds. And there's energy bursts to slow them down and drain some energy. Not that the Sluggers use it. And they are getting wrecked in this melee fight now. We Are the Hammer was active, providing speed and damage resistance bonuses. Starting ability of the Brother Captain also provides some splash damage for him. Kommando, I think, is going to go down. Hammer of the Witches, yep, down he goes. So both the Kommando and the Mekboy are down. A Warboss is there to revive though, there we go. Returning the favor. And that is a bunch of boss pole buffs. Those orange circles you see, providing health and suppression resistance. And they're trying to stop this power bash with a flank. And that could be quite a nasty flank. These Sluggers are full health. They are going to take a big burst of damage as they get close to the Purgation though. Would have been better to have the Warboss leading this, I think, so he could soak up some of that Purgation. There it is. Big damage as that Incinerator comes online. Strat squad in there, of course. The Sluggers do get away. With only a single model loss. Here comes the Inquisitor. Warboss is getting mixed up in there. Decent special attack. Here come the Sluggers of ChunkyCoates. Catagen Devil's on the field now for Soul Reaver. You typically don't see players replace their Sentinel when they go down. Crossbow bolt pistol in play too. And there's the crippling volley. Locking down those Sluggers. They're going to need to run. Purgation are still in play, by the way. Lots of Daka on those Catagens from the double shooters there. They're going to wipe, I think. They are wiped. They were trying to get in range to use the shotgun blast, but they were suppressed. So it took them a while, and they were taking damage the whole time. should have just got them out of there, I guess. More Catechin Devils coming in for Soul Reaver. There's a revive on the Kommando. Warboss into level 2 now because of those 2 revives. Tier 2 for Machine Elf. Iluka Foe has got Storm Boys up. Jump troops with power melee weapons. Bad news for the Tactical Marines and the Grey Knight fellas. Where's the Brother Captain? He's running off. West side turning red again for the Orks. They're also grabbing that contested wreck point. Warboss is on a warpath through the mid. Almost level 3 now. Must have killed a Marine. Yeah, look. There's his body. Catechins are here to shotgun blast him. These are very versatile infantry. Can disrupt with a long-range grenade launcher as well as pop smoke. And hey, have some good melee on them as well. Storm Boys looking for the contested power on the eastern edge. And they're taking back this natural wreck point. Mid-wreck point turning red for the Orks thanks to the Mekboy. You can't set up and cap at the same time. So you can't fire this weapon while he's doing this. Has to back off. He's got some backup though. These sluggers don't have burners, but they can still draw fire. Not sure if it's worth them trying to engage even, because they're just going to get shotgun blasted. Might be better to try and wait for the fight to like play out a bit and try to sneak them in somewhere. Catechins are off the field though. These guys are all getting suppressed by the huge amounts of Daka. Teleports in, staying set up. Got the facing right. Meanwhile, hide the boys on the sluggers, surprising the strat squad. And here comes the Commando knob with the big old stab. Didn't lose any Grey Knight models though. There's tripper shot on the Brother Captain. Oh, it actually knocks him over. I thought it would just stun him. But no, he got knocked on his ass. Inquisitor in some light cover here. But has to leave. Very good at using the Death Gun while teleporting around here, Machine Elf. Because if you get the facing a bit wrong, you have to like de-set up and spin around and set up again. Vindicator Assassin on the field. In tier 2 for Brother Captain Palaz. Sub-Commander unit with big burst damage from range can take on infantry and larger vehicle units and stuff by switching ammo. Commando not getting all the way in there. Very determined to get that Vindicator off the field, but he stays on the field. They took down a node and a gen. And they're keeping up the pressure of the Orks. 374 to 440. There's Love the Daka. Sorry, more Daka on the Shooter Boys. Global buff from the Mekboy. Reducing their weapon cooldown so they can Daka more. Inquisitor coming in now. No war gear for the Brother Captain. Oh, he's got his hammer out. Gonna need to leave here though, I think. Yep. Strat squad with the Mind Blades buff from the global bar of the Brother Captain, providing damage and melee skill bonuses in melee. Can they wipe these Shooter Boys? They got pretty damn close to it. Yeah, the Strat squad with Mind Blades is quite nasty. If you can chuck Bulwark on them too, they'll trade quite well with even like fully upgraded sluggers, I would think. Even with one of those buffs. Knob Leader coming in for those sluggers. Mark target on the Storm Boys, and we also see Refractor Field in for the Techmarine, a very efficient shield with 6.25 damage absorbed for every single point of energy. Usually it's 5 to 1, I think, ratio, but this guy gets a 6 to 1. And Signum Armor is up for the mark target. You don't get the knockback immunity though on this shield, which is why it's more efficient damage-wise. Tarantula Turret covering the VP could be genius. Easy to get around it, but it does delay a cap at least, or a decap. Sluggers getting their Knob Leader for ChunkyCoates. He's queued up for tier 2. More Shooter Boys out in tier 2 for Iluka Foe. Not something you expect to see, really. Very rare to see Shooter Boys actually purchased in tier 2. Tier 3, though, for Jono. Mekboy needing to run. Catechin's getting some melee on him, which he doesn't like. Retreating units take 30% more damage from melee attacks. Custom Force Field is in, so he can disrupt a bunch. Meanwhile, west side is red. Strat squad getting in there, though. Kommando, is he trying to get straight onto the Vindicator again? That was a bunch of Purge Soul stuff from the Purgation, I think. That orange flame effect on the Kommando knob. Runs away with Kaboom coming in. Shooter boys can't really manage those strat squad guys if they don't have aiming what's that available. Sluggers were off the field. Back to the mid. Huge amounts of Dakar on the Inquisitor. That was an artillery spotter. Call in mortar shell there. Mark target on these sluggers, and they got absolutely wrecked as they approached. Even though those attacks were suppressed, mark target is so good. Did it wipe them? I don't think so. Double of stick bombers now for Machine Elf. Decent melee combatants that can chuck orky grenades at you. Explosive ones or stunning ones. And the Warboss with the Bang Bang Hammer. Tier 3 for Machine Elf. No weird boys anywhere. Looking for quicker tier 2s maybe. There's a big old Kaboom with that ridiculous knockback strength. Kommando then runs away afterwards. It wasn't me. Vindicator backing away from the Dakar. Brother Captain gets in there. Level 3 now. Has that demolishing strike to stun nearby enemies. That was a special attack. Fancy psychic one. Oh, the Kommando didn't get away. I saw someone running over there. That was just the knob leader, I guess. Kommando is very much down. Mind Blades were up on the strike squad. I think they're now taking on the power node. What is this, though? That is an orky push on the power. Bunch of stick bombs in there. That is a huge amount of orky blowing up stuff. That was awesome. Storm Boys run away. Warboss looking for a fight, of course. Shooter Boys getting awfully close to things. Mekboy's here with the death gun. Oh, no, he's not. He's run off. Warboss still chasing stuff through there. Kicking some guardsmen to death. I mean, it would happen. That guy dies as well. Level 4 now, the Warboss. Doing a good job getting in people's faces, isn't he? Level 4 Inquisitor gets stunned by the stun bombs. They could go in melee here and probably mess her up quite a lot. What is this? It is some Dakar. These guys are going to take back these western points. What's the VP situation? Quite close. 335 to 354. Tier 3 for ChunkyCoates and Brother Captain Palaz and Soul Reaver. And there's Iluka Foe just starting it too. So they're all going to be in Tier 3 soon enough. Still nothing coming out in Tier 3 for Jono. Doesn't have the red for Terminators or the Venerable Dreadnought. Doesn't have the power for the Land Raider. Or a tank. Just purchased something there. It was a plasma gun. 332 to 350. Wouldn't expect to see a quick tier 3 and then a plasma gun. Especially when there's no heavy infantry in the Orky armies yet, really. Expecting to try and get out a tank or something. But we shall see. These tacks are leveling up. Plasma guns are a great anti-infantry weapon, but you get the bonus damage versus heavy and super heavy infantry, which these Ork units don't really have right now. Big old shooting match. And the Orks flee. Attacks are pretty good at shooting matches. They trade quite well, especially if they have cover. Messy fight on the west side. Purgation doing some good work against the sluggers who almost wiped. Kommando's in there now, stabbing them pretty good. Still level 1, this fella. It's been difficult to take models off of Brother Captain Palaz's Grey Knights guys. And the Kommando's down again. 312 to 346. On the power now is Soul Reaver. With a Primaris Psycho on the way. Machine Elf with a looted tank coming through. Looks like he lost some shooter boys in that firefight over there. Can they get a full power bash? They can. That's pretty big. Ordo Malleus fellas here too. Knob squad on the way for ChunkyCoates. Brother Captain Palaz with the Baltimore Razorback. There's that looted tank. Pretty damn good tank, this thing. You get a disruptive boom gun shot on it, which is very useful. Need to purchase the reinforced plating. What are these guys doing? Very strangely staggered retreat there. So staggered that those guys ran back to those fellas to retreat even more. Meanwhile, east side, mark target on the poor Storm Boys, who are not moving. There we go. Were they caught in the crippling volley there? Didn't seem like they were in range of it. Warboss is very upset. Looted tank comes through. There's not a whole lot to stop it. Could see a missile launcher. No, we got double plasma guns. Unlikely to see a missile launcher. That was the telekinetic dome from the Primaris Psycho, which does provide some ranged damage resistance as well as melee damage resistance, and it also provides melee skill bonuses, I believe. Very good for Ogrins, which you don't see any of at the moment. Got some Terminators though from Jono, Storm Bolters and Power Fists. Western VP turning red. Maybe. Shooter Boy's wipe does not turn red. Vortimer Razorback is going to get Knob Squad in a second. They've got Hide the Boys on them. He's waiting for the heavy melee U-jammers. There we go. They are in. Not quite on rear armor, but they got some really good hits in there, building up that momentum. They were slowed down by the energy burst, and there's that demolishing strike doing some good work. Couldn't quite get the Vortimer down. If he just went around the back slightly, I think he would have got it with rear armor hits. Yeah, but the damage is crazy on the Snob Squad. Very expensive to fully upgrade them, but they get super scary pretty quickly. You can stop them with suppression and disruption and stuff, forcing them to use their frenzy early maybe. Looted tank. Still not super threatened. Oh, well, I guess these guys now have Cyclone Missile Launcher. There's a Rocks. Setting up with some stun bombs. Good hits. Really good hits. 288 to 295 on the VPs. Knob Squad coming in now for Iluka Foe. Orks are quite depleted. They're keeping their power melee huge choppers at the moment. Although, why use them when you can headbutt the Terminators? Just do that. Got power melee headbutts. Techmarine's got a melter gun. Good damage to all targets. Kind of short range, but it is nice to have. Can threaten vehicles and all sorts with it. The Strat Squad decapping and now taking the VP on the western side. Orks need to recover. They are very good at recovering in Tier 3 because they've got lots of cool options with Flash Gits and Commandos and Knobs. Both Flash Gits and Commandos under 100 power as well. There's a Weird Boy for Iluka Foe. There's that Demolishing Strike again. And that's shutting down the Knob Squad really nicely. Paladins in now for Brother Captain Palaz. These guys unique to the Brother Captain. Heavy melee Nemesis Demon Hammers. Big bucket of hit points. And that's what the Kommando thinks of that. Grappin hooks himself away because he was about to get hammered by the Paladins. And then still gets shot to death. I don't think he knew what was over here. Could have gone the other direction for a bit more safety maybe. Meanwhile, Knob Squad bashed the node. That does give them a chunk of XP. Oh, they're going to take huge damage from the plasma guns though. He was ready, wasn't he? Jono was ready with his plasma guns. ChunkyCoates down to only a Knob Squad now. Can he recover from that? That's a big ask. Going to need some help over here. Got a Vortimer Razorback, that Brother Captain. Now with the Bulwark. And the Paladins, of course. I think it's 35% damage resist. Or something like that. And then 15% more melee damage. It might be the other way around, actually. 270 to 289 on the VPs. It's still very close. But how long can these Orks hold on with these depleted armies here? Mekboy now has a beamy def gun for anti-vehicle shenanigans because of the Lehman Russ. Also Vortimer Razorback, which does have that reinforced plating up to 750 hit points. Not bad for how quick this thing is. That Psy Cannon on the top there, damaging all targets quite well. Techmarine runs. Pushing up the east side is Iluka. No armor upgrade yet for the Warboss. Busy getting units on the field, which I think is the right call. And it's going to be a Knob Squad. Do you have Warpath over here? Not yet. If you can get Warpath and surround yourself with Knob Squads, you're going to do decently well, I think. Most of the time. Slugger's here busy repairing. The Mekboy can repair himself as well. Another Vortimer Razorback for the Brother Captain. Flank, says Jono. Not sure exactly. Oh, turret was drawing them in. Flank, says Jono. This turret here is still up. Meanwhile, west side kicking off. Hide the boys on the Knob Squad. There's the bulwark. Oh, he put it on the Strat Squad, not on the Paladins. The Strat Squad are now off the field. I wonder if that was a misclick. You'd expect to see it on the Paladins, I think. Nob Squad are sent packing. They got messed up there. Paladins barely took any damage. I guess the Strat Squad were the ones being targeted, which is why maybe they got the bulwark to try and save them. Maybe it made a difference. Mekboy trying to get beamy shots on the Paladins. And there's some battle rights now from Mantle of Terror. It's not a huge heal, but it's kind of a nice little bonus because you also get health, you get energy regen, you get cooldown reduction on your abilities, and then the healing per second is a nice little bonus. Meanwhile, Land Raider Redeemer on the way for Jono. ChunkyCoates with a Nob Squad and a tank. Next purchase might be vital over here. And I would get a Weird Boy. Stun those Paladins. And then maybe look into some flash kits and stuff. And it might be time for a rocket launcher Kommando. This is all stuff that costs a bunch of resources, of course. So much easier said than done. Kommando's backing off from Machine Elf. They do have their Nob Leader, which means a rocket launcher in there. Vindicator's sticking to his anti-infantry rounds at the moment. Paladins are quite low. Can they get a model off them? There's We Are the Hammer. Kommando's being all sneaky. Looking for a Vortimer. Are they? Okay, they chucked something. It was the burner bomb. Little burst of Love the Daka there. Looks like the... No, he's alright. I thought the brother captain was going to go down. Demolishing strike kick on the Paladins. Nob Squad with their hammers building at the momentum. Frenzy is popped. They got stunned. What did they get stunned by? Oh, did they get stunned by the Kommando stun bomb? Maybe. Paladins teleporting away somehow did not drop a model there. 3 of them on 800 hit points. Meanwhile, blue team have got through and grabbed the VP here. Weird Boy levels to 2. The Terminator's back away. Another Lehman Russ coming through. Where is the other one? In the mid. Orks are definitely pinned back. There's a flash kits though, with blasters already in. Actually dealing psychic damage, which is very good against heavily armored infantry. Because, you know, it just attacks their brains or something. There's that rocket launcher. An amazing anti-vehicle weapon for the Kommando, especially since he can infiltrate. Got some good hits on a Lehman Russ there. Speaking of good hits, turbo penetrator rounds in for the Vindicator, now anti-vehicle. Got a good shot on the looted tank with target acquired on it. What is ChunkyCoates' next purchase? Doesn't look like it's going to be a Weird Boy. Unless he just hasn't decided yet. Blue team will take the contested victory point with fast capping tactical marines. Level 4 fellas. Both level 4. Techmarine level, almost level 6. This tank may not get away. Mark target on it, down to 12 hit points. Might see a Cyclone missile barrage. Here comes a Nob Squad to try and help out. Yeah, the tank survives. 2 of the Orc heroes down, and as I say that, the Mekboy gets repurchased. Vindicator Assassin came to the wrong neighborhood. Nob Squads almost took him down with 1 swing each. 257 to 173. Nob Squad now run away. They can't take on all of that by themselves. Another looted tank? No, it's cancelled by ChunkyCoates. Goes for some sluggers. Needs to repair that looted tank, I guess. Oh, a turret over here too. Turret's doing some decent work here for the Techmarine. They do seem much better than the Plague Champion turret in terms of damage and suppression. You give up a bit of range, firing arc, width. But I think, ouch, Catachin's dying. I think you take the damage and the suppression on the Techmarine turret. Weird Boy, you alright, Bev? Are you alright? 46 hit points, he's alright. Down to 130 VPs to the Orks. Double sluggers coming in for ChunkyCoates. Trying to repair that tank sooner, I guess. Or quicker. Level 5 mech. Can you... Oh, it's a Orks coming in. Gets rid of these fellas, but is he going to bash his own power? That generator holds on with a single hit point. Beamy looters now, but they got shot to death. Literally 257 to 108. Orks may have just been too far behind for a bit too long. Kassakin on the field now for Soul Reaver. Elite infantry that can change their weapons freely, their specialized weapons. Not using it right now. There's some Love the Daka to knock them on their ass. And 2 Nob squads coming in to just mob that Inquisitor. Can they take her down? They can. One of them with hammers, one of them with choppers. These guys, yeah, they are going to get the hammers because they want to threaten the Lehman Russers. 257 to 108. These guys popping their frenzy. These guys might have already used it already. Good control of the Lehman Russers there by Soul Reaver. Back to the safety of the turret. Those turrets have done great. Where's the Land Raider? Sitting here. They can all retreat back to it, which makes it much safer to do aggressive pushes like this. Orks are holding on though. They are holding on. Look at the red that Soul Reaver has. Almost maxed out on it. Cyclone missile launcher barrage is avoided. Using the grappling hook to get to the VP now. Here's ChunkyCoates. Did get another Nob squad up. With the choppers for now, but that's very good against the Terminators over there. Stun bombs into stick bombs into flash gits and their blasters. There's marked target on those guys now. Flash gits are heavy infantry, so they'll take extra damage from the plasma guns. Everything retreats back to the Land Raider, of course. This could be a really important push here. Nob squad already taking huge amounts of damage. They've got to pop their frenzy. Demolishing strike stuns all of the Nob squads there. Really powerful. Gets a great special too. Frag Assault went in. Nob squad has to run. Stick bombs going in. Another Nob squad is still in there, but also has to run. And there's Holy Grounds. Looks huge now. From the Paladins. Thanks to their consecrated scrolls, that speeds up allies and slows down enemies. They changed the visual effect to be more distinct, and you can see the size of that thing now properly. It's big. But the Captain Palaz floating huge amounts of resources because he's just been really good at preserving his units, not having to reinforce them. Orks very much on the back foot, but they have some dangerous stuff on the field still. Only takes one really good big engagement win to turn it around. Double cap is against them though. Love the Daka knocking down the Nob squad there. Some friendly knockback. Gonna take one hell of an engagement though to turn this around, isn't it? Stun bombs going in. And there's 2 Nob squads. Demolishing strike doesn't get the Nob squads. Oh, they don't go after the Land Raider though. They're going after the Lehman Russers with some Warboss support. Stick bombs chucked in. There's another Holy Grounds. There's a Purgatus from the Inquisitor, who's now being kicked by the Warboss. He doesn't like it. Doesn't like these Umis and their stuns. Inquisitor does get away. Lehman Russers are chased all the way off the VP at least, but there's still a Land Raider here. Beamy's getting shots. Well, one Beamy is. Another one's trying to move up, and this one has the more Daka on it, which I don't think speeds up the firing rate of that thing. For anti-vehicle weapons, it typically increases their damage instead. Another stun on the Land Raider. Nob squads, I think, should have gone after it. They would have taken it down, I think. But, I mean, pushing off the Lehman Russers did have value. Speaking of Nob squads, here's ChunkyCoates. So many targets to go for. Those guys had to retreat. Another demolishing strike in there too. 257 to 49. good stunning. If they got all 4 of those knob squads to push at once and avoided the demolishing strike, maybe they could get something bummed. But look at that. That is a lot to take on. Flash Kit's doing some good stuff, but they couldn't do it all. Weird Boy with a good hit there. Yeah, the lack of Weird Boys to stun those paladins. You only see one Weird Boy over here. I guess they had other threats on their mind. There's now triple Lehman Russes. No upgrades on them, but they're still really good tanks. Are the blue team going to cap the west side or what? Looks like something is capping it. Maybe it just got decapped or something, but look at that. Blue team's natural gets decapped by the commandos. Can they not chuck the burner bomb on the turret? Not sure if that will do good. Usually it messes up turrets quite a lot if you could do some fire damage. Purgatus and the Holy Grounds. It's a nasty combo, isn't it? How are you meant to approach with that? Well, the Knob Squad here get in. Onto the Lehman Russ. Which levels up, by the way. Surely they can get it. Oh, but it's slowed down by the Holy Grounds and this thing's sped up by it. One more touch would do. Down to 9 hit points. They did get it. 254 to 49. I think Soul Reaver felt pretty safe, which is why it's being so gung-ho with these tanks. Oh, Kommando went down over here, look. I think he kaboomed those guys. That's a rocket run. Nasty rocket run. Good grief. GG, says Machine Elf. That almost wiped his entire army. That's a really good nuke by Soul Reaver. Weird Boy runs. Double cap is in for the blue team. About to be a triple. There it is. And it looks like they have survived the war. Map is very blue. What is this? Just some tacks hanging out. Yep. Orks. I mean, they gave it their all. I think they never really seemed to like mob up for one big 3-player push. And every time they pushed in, even when they pushed in with 2 Knob Squads, there was just too much stuff to mess with. And Demolishing Strike did huge amounts of work. Purgatus, Crossbow Bolt Pistol. I mean, maybe Knob Squads weren't the thing here because there was so much war gear against them. Awesome game though. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I'll see ya next time.